Welcome in, everyone, to the High School Spotlight. I'm your host, Garrett Walvard. Week 3 of the football season is in the books, and district play is heating up. On today's show, we'll see highlights from fierce rivalries like Catholic and U High and Shaw versus Rummel. We'll also hit the court and spotlight some of the best volleyball programs from across Louisiana. And later, we sit down with Mark Koski of the NFHS and talk about their network and how it serves the student athletes in our state. We've got a great show coming up. It all starts right after this break.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
Welcome back in. The LHSAA Network Game of the Week continues to showcase high-profile teams and fourth-quarter comebacks, and last Thursday's game was no exception. The Santa Maria Gators hosted John F. Kennedy at the Pit, and the quarterback play for both schools was outstanding. Amini Darrensburg rushed for over 200 yards for the Cougars, while Cooper Babin of Santa Maria rallied the Gators back from a 14-point deficit late in the game. Here's an inside look at the Game of the Week, only on the LHSAA Network. Thursday night, the undefeated Kennedy Cougars and the Gators looking for their first win of the year. Junior quarterback Cooper Babin, third play of the game, throws down the sideline to Timothy Johnson. He's got breakaway speed, 68 yards for the game's first touchdown. Ensuing possession for Kennedy on their own 5-yard line. Amini Darrensburg takes off with blockers downfield. Senior quarterback makes a few cuts, and he will sprint to the finish, going end zone to end zone against the Gators. Officially 95 yards on the play and the fist pump. Santa Maria's offense would answer. Babin tosses a 28-yard touchdown to Reed Myers to regain the lead. We've already seen that play once in the game. Darrensburg went 95 yards on the rush, but kick return specialist Jonathan Strouder says, "I can do you two better." The senior follows his blockers, returns the kickoff 97 yards, ties the game up at 14. Strouder would factor in later. Kennedy gets going in the second half. Darrensburg fires a dart to James Evans. Cougars have their first lead of the night, 21-14. Amini sees Strouder headed for the corner of the end zone and hits him in stride to double up the Gators, 28-14. You don't think for a second Santa Maria is done, though. Babin, fourth down, he fakes out the defender and fires 30 yards downfield to Caven Taylor to keep the drive alive. At the goal line, direct snap to Carson Sheets. The senior tight end bulldozes forward for the touchdown. Gator fans have their prayers answered. Babin hits Connor Darr for the score with 2 minutes remaining. Now 2:25, huge play in the game. Coach Oliver goes for 2 and the win. Unbelievable show. This one's into the back of the end zone, and it will be caught. Fantastic show there. Kept his eyes up, and Caven Taylor gets it. Gators 29, Cougars 28. How about 3rd and 13 from his own end zone, and Amini Darrensburg hits James Evans. He makes the miracle catch. He's at the 30. The senior will stay upright. Tries to outrun the Gators secondary. He's finally driven out. And then Coach Linares L. Page calls for a 25-yard field goal, and Nayun Laline delivers the game winner, 31-29. Kennedy 3-0 for the third year in a row. A cardiac comeback for the Gators, but the Cougars get the win with a late field goal. Santa Maria now faces Dutchtown and Scotlandville on the road, while Kennedy travels to St. Paul's on the North Shore. Coming up next, we talk with Mark Koski of the NFHS Network, and later we highlight several volleyball teams climbing the rankings in Louisiana. This is the High School Spotlight. And we're back on the High School Spotlight. Earlier this month, we spoke with Mark Koski of the NFHS Network. Let's take a look at that interview. Hi, everybody, and welcome into the LHSAA Network studios. I'm Garrett Walvert, and today we're joined by the Chief Marketing Officer for the NFHS, Mark Koski. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get a history lesson. Talk to me about the beginning of the NFHS and how it's changed over the years.
Yeah, so the NFHS network actually was created 12 years ago from the NFHS, which is the governing body for high school sports and performing arts throughout the country, and Play On Sports. Play On Sports is our operator. They're based out of Atlanta. They do a phenomenal job. And so the ultimate goal for the network is to cover all 2 million events that there are at the high school level throughout all 50 state associations as well as DC. And so when we created it 12 years ago, it's to make sure that, hey, fans don't miss a play. They're part of the action. And what we've seen through the years on the network, those who are watching our network are watching from beyond a drivable distance. These are folks from outside of Louisiana that can't make it to the game, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, that want to be a part of the high school action, which there's no better game to be a part of than high school, as we know. But they now have a chance through the NFHS network to be a part of that game and that contest. So it's been an awesome tenure for 12 years. Currently here in Louisiana, you have 195,000 students. So students that participate in high school sports, so how do we make sure that we can showcase the great things that they're doing through the NFHS network? And our goal is to get through all 404 schools. You have 404 high schools here at the LHSAA, and so how can we find a way to get all of those schools part of the NFHS network over time?
Talk to us about working with all of these schools and what kind of services you provide.
Yeah, so through our school broadcast programs, schools have the opportunity to showcase all of their regular season events as well as the postseason events. And working with the LHSA network, they do a phenomenal job. We have the opportunity, again, for these schools to make sure that all freshman games and JV games, as well as all their varsity games, are part of the network itself. And so schools have the opportunity to be a part of our school broadcast program where students themselves are actually broadcasting the game, or we have Pixelot cameras, which is an automated camera that athletic directors can utilize, schools can utilize, that there's no humans required and needed, and so we can pick up that content and make sure that those students are showcased, as well as all the fans, again, that are outside of Louisiana have an opportunity to show and watch the great things that they're doing.
Looking forward, what are the future goals for the NFHS network?
Yeah, currently this year we had 142 of the schools here in Louisiana that are part of the NFHS network. So how do we get to all 404 of those schools? That's a key. We also want to make sure that, hey, every high school game is covered through the NFHS network. And so that's a huge goal of us. Nationally, we had 605,000 games on the NFHS network,
wow,
which is massive. But again, how do we get to those 2 million games itself? And so the more schools that are part of our network, that's an important thing, again, to showcase those students and do it the right way. We believe the NFHS network, as well as the LHSA network, they do it the right way, showcasing high school students. And through our networks, hopefully all schools will be a part of that. We're going to do it the right way and showcase them.
Mark, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
For more information, you can log on to nfhsnetwork.com. We appreciate Mark and the NFHS staff taking the time for that interview. We'll hear from Keely Hartman and Mark later in this broadcast on how the NFHS is growing their footprint with LHSAA member schools and providing broadcast opportunities in our state. After the break, we'll see a midweek volleyball matchup between Barb of Lake Charles and Westminster Christian of Lafayette. We'll be right back.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Last season, Westminster Christian earned the state's #2 overall seed in the playoffs and ran through the postseason, advancing to the Division V title game. The Crusaders played several freshmen in 2023 and return a veteran group with high expectations. Barb also made the playoffs in 23 and was very successful in the previous decade, making trips to the semis in 2014 and 15. Here's a closer look at their match.
The off-season has been great. We've had a lot of kids come in. We do summer workouts 3 times a week, like they said, getting up at 6 a.m. We go and run, we go and lift, and then we go and practice. And, we had almost 100% attendance the whole summer, so it was really good. I think off-season we just worked on working really hard, working as a team, being there for each other, and then we worked really hard in the off-season with ball control and keeping the ball in play.
We do work hard. We run a lot, and we lift a lot, too. We're very excited. We've gotten a lot better since our last season. We've grown, and I feel like that we are going to go really far.
We wake up really early, like 6 a.m., and we practice till like 10, so it's a lot, but it's fun, and I get to do it with my team. So, our leaders on offense would be like Danny and Maddie, because she's offense technically, and then defense and Kat, because she's loud and she talks all throughout the game, no matter what.
Offensively, Danny and Kennedy. They do a really good job right now keeping us in play. And then Madison Sanchez doing a really good job mixing up our plays, mixing up our swings, doing a really good job of that. Okay, you make a mistake, mistakes are going to happen. Volleyball is a game of errors, Next ball, next play. Don't continue to dread on what happened in the past, because then you're going to make an error the next play, Just continue next ball, next play.
We did pick up the ball a lot more. We worked together, we fought through it, and we didn't let outside get to us. We probably need to talk a little more on the court. I feel like that's really the main.
Like our rival games, like Sulphur and Sam Houston and St. Louis, and our district's pretty tough.
They really do love each other. They want the best for each other. They want the best for every single person out on that court, and I think that's the team chemistry is just going to get us a long way.
A great matchup between two teams on the rise. We'll have more volleyball action later in the show. Up next, we head to New Orleans for a rivalry between Rummel and Shaw. And later, two powerhouse volleyball programs square off as St. Thomas More and St. Joseph's meet up on a Tuesday night in Lafayette. This is the High School Spotlight.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
The LHSAA Network, home to the best student athletes in the nation.
I truly wish we were able to get more into the student athlete as far as maybe some type of the way the games are shown, their backgrounds, not so much their home life, but just an idea of who they are. We need to publicize our kids a whole lot more, give them opportunities. I think Louisiana is one of the talent rich for any sport, and as long as we're pushing academics, they can go anywhere in the world.
High school sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on one channel, the LHSAA Network. Welcome back. Football teams with ancient rivalries always make for the best matchups. Three-time state champion Rummel and Archbishop Shaw have been competing on the gridiron for decades, part of the famed Catholic League in New Orleans. But when Shaw's enrollment dropped in 2021, the Eagles were forced to leave the Catholic League. Both schools continue their rivalry, though, now in non-district play in Week 3.
Shaw, Rummel, two Archbishop teams in the name. I mean, just this game was incredible. First quarter, we'll pick it up. Rummel quarterback General Buggage Jr. hooks up with wide receiver number 87, Micah Green, and he is gone. A long touchdown run gives the Raiders a 7-0 lead. On the next drive, Shaw gets a good run from quarterback Mason Wilson, banging off the defenders to move into Rummel territory. He'll then hand it off to Jasper Parker. He punches it in for 6 yards to tie it at 7-all. Then we got some trickery coming from Shaw. Caleb Williams with a long right run around the left side. Eagles in good position here as he moves past all the Rummel Raiders defense. Then you had Mason finding Parker for his second touchdown of the game on an 11-yard one-handed touchdown grab to give Shaw a 14-7 lead. After a Rummel touchdown ties the game at 14-all, the Raiders get a big interception from number 2, Kayron Jackson, to keep the score 14-14 at half. Rummel goes ahead with this plunge by Norman Taylor. Rummel extended the lead 28-14. Shaw gets a big run from Parker. Look how he just bangs off the defenders. They cannot take this man down. But on fourth down, Wilson finds Parker for the touchdown to cut the lead to 28-21. He gets up there. He grabs it out the air. This game was going to come down to the wire, though. But Rummel proved just to be too much here as Norman Taylor gets his second rushing touchdown of the game to make the final 35-21 there, as you see them hoisting what seems to be a trophy of sorts.
It's the megaphone trophy. They've been playing it since both schools started. Congratulations to Coach Monica on the win.
Yes, and a big win for Rummel, who's now 3-0 on the year. They picked up another big win last week. I mean, just an incredible showing from them.
With wins over U-High, LCA, and now Shaw, the undefeated Rummel Raiders take a ton of momentum into their Catholic League opener against John Curtis. Shaw still has several non-district games before league play. They'll face LCA and Lafayette this week. All right, we've got a volleyball matchup between two schools that share 19 state titles. It's St. Joseph's and St. Thomas More on the other side of this break.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
No one ever thinks they'll be in this position. Buying medication online could put you here, or here, or here. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl, and fentanyl kills. It's 50 times stronger than heroin. Medical professionals can't even tell the difference between a real pill and one that is fake. At least not until they do your autopsy. Don't take anything online that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
The St. Thomas More volleyball team has won 3 state titles in a row, and the Cougars are off to a blazing start in 24, winning their first 7 matches in a row. Coach Jessica Burke enters her 15th season, scheduling the toughest opponents to test her team. St. Joseph's volleyball's program takes a backseat to no one as the Red Stickers have 10 state titles in their trophy case. On Tuesday evening, these teams battled it out in Lafayette.
Three-time defending state champs St. Thomas More continued an unbeaten run to start the season with a sweep of St. Joseph's Academy. Cougars head coach Jessica Burke has her squad firing on all cylinders early in the season.
I love the energy that we had and the ability to make adjustments, and that we didn't kind of get too rattled when we were making a couple of early mistakes. We were able to pull out of that and kind of find our game, so that was nice to see.
We were just happy about the victory for Coach's birthday and just another 3-0 sweep.
Senior Ella Broussard is a part of a senior class that Coach Burke has been impressed with since last spring.
I love our senior leadership. It's been fantastic, even beginning, when they were juniors and kind of rising into the spring, and a really great group of kids who play at an elite level, do all things at an elite level. So they've kind of brought all of us up and around it. So just my senior group's doing really well, and the team gelling as a whole is really nice to see too.
We're a great group of girls. We've been playing a while for each other, with each other, so we just have great chemistry.
But even when the Cougars went down by 5 in the first set, it seemed like they were not fazed.
Yeah, definitely. They are competitors, but they don't get in their feels too much. They're very solid and mature in that way. We also have a lot of camaraderie because these girls a lot of them have been on varsity since they were freshmen with me. So that creates a really cool bond, and a lot of the ability to kind of joke around and play around a little bit with each other because we've done so much together that we know each other really well.
Yeah, I played freshman, sophomore, and junior year, but this is the first year I'm starting, so it's been really fun.
Oh, they all. I can't separate them just because they all do the things together, and they're all so good, and whatever they do individually, they're very good players, so yeah.
Most of the seniors on the squad have been getting significant playing time since they were just freshmen, a key to their success.
Gosh, it's everything. I think especially with my setters, they came in and were running a varsity offense as freshmen, which is unheard of here because it's a high demand, and I demand a lot of our setters. So they were just little baby freshies out there running our varsity offense, and everybody was talking about how special they were, how special they were going to be, and they continue to work hard. So it's definitely come to fruition for them. But to see how much they've grown and go back and watch them play as freshmen, I'm like, oh, we've come a long way. But that's a really special gift, particularly. That's like having a quarterback start for 4 years. It's just unheard of. So,
for the LHSA Network, I'm Spence Ferret.
Both schools will begin district play in the coming weeks, and then things really heat up. To find schedules and more information about your favorite teams, simply search LHSAA Volleyball. After this quick break, we'll show you a monster matchup between U High and Catholic from Memorial Stadium, where the stands were rocking and the Bears were on upset alert. This is the High School Spotlight.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
And we're back on the High School Spotlight. Catholic high football has won 3 of the last 4 state championships, and Coach Hudson Fuller's team started the season off with big wins at Destrehan and reigning champ St. Thomas More. U-High is no stranger to the Superdome either, winning 4 titles over the last decade. The Cubs and Bears rivalry has been called the Battle for Baton Rouge, and on Friday night, the latest chapter needed overtime to settle the score.
U-High beat Catholic 31-30 last season, but the Bears won the state title. Cubs quarterback Emil Picarella trying to author another upset. Kickoff return with these two teams tied 14-all, Trashad Bush running upright, and the senior loses the handle. Catholic players swarm the ball, but Lab School recovers. Picarella flushed out of the pocket on this play, and the big man gets to rumbling. 6'2", 205, but they'll say he stepped out of bounds on the big game. No matter, Picarella on play action throws deep to Alec Haynes for the touchdown. Haynes, a 225-pound defensive end, he's running routes for the Cubs now. U-High pulls ahead 21-14 for their first lead of the night. Cubs fans out in force, and they are fired up after that touchdown. Who needs brain cells? We're at a football game. Catholic backup quarterback Turner Goldsmith in for Baylor Graves. Let's hand off to Rylan Parker, who sheds tacklers and runs hard for extra yards. Goldsmith in the shotgun, pump fakes, and takes a shot at the end zone. Amari Clayton gets past 2 defenders and makes the catch, but his feet were out of bounds. He says, hey, I was out by this much. That brings up 4th down. Goldsmith with the keeper to the left side of the line, and the Cubs defense makes the stop for a turnover on downs. That sets off a huge celebration in the U-High student section, but the Cubs weren't done. Later in the 4th, 3rd down, Picarella fires 30 yards to Ethan Kimmy, and the sophomore doesn't disappoint. That'll move the chains and keep the clock rolling on Catholic. The Bears had tied the game with a minute left, forcing overtime, but on the extra period's first play, Picarella found Zay Martin for a 10-yard touchdown pass, and Catholic would be intercepted on the game's final play. U-High wins 27-21, improving to 2-1 and snapping the Bears' 12-game win streak.
Congratulations to the U-High Cubs, who improved to 2-1 and find themselves near the top of the rankings in 3A. Catholic hosts red-hot West Monroe in Baton Rouge this week, and we'll have highlights on our program Friday night in the Boot. Coming up next, we'll hear from the NFHS Network, and later, more highlights and scores from around the state. This is the High School Spotlight.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
Buying online is easy, but not when it comes to buying medications. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl. Kids are dying from these fake pills. Fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin. A lethal dose is smaller than a pencil point. Worse yet, medical professionals can't tell the difference between real pills and their counterfeits. Don't take anything that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
Earlier this month, Mark Koski and Keely Hartman of the NFHS Network stopped in and told us about their organization's plans to better serve area schools in Louisiana. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Mark Koski. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for the NFHS. I wanted to thank the LHSA staff, of course, specifically Mr. Bonine for having us here today. Really enjoyed our time with staff as well as to meet with the LHSA TV crew itself. I had a number of things to talk about today. One of those primarily is how can we grow student-led broadcasts here in Louisiana? Currently, of your 404 member schools, we have 142 schools that are part of the NFHS network. And so our goal, through the network is to showcase both boys and girls equally, to make sure that we showcase every sport that we have, as well as to make sure that all 195,000 students that participate in Louisiana high school events are part of the NFHS network. And so great conversation here with staff today about growing the NFHS network, growing the membership database, so to speak, or the base itself, and really having good conversation about the postseason production as well. And so you might not know this, but the LHSA postseason events are hosted on the NFHS network through the LHSA TV. And we want to make sure that we cover, not only that championship game, but deeper in the playoffs as possible. And so, again, through great ideas, through the leadership in which the LHSA has, and through the staff, we were able to come up with some great ideas. So we're hoping that, again, all 404 schools ultimately will be a part of the network itself. Keely Hartman is here with us today as part of our team, and she's going to talk about the service of the NFHS network and how we're getting better and have gotten better through the years of our 12-year history.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. And like Mark mentioned, we had a great visit here, able to share and showcase some new initiatives that we've launched at the network, including the customer success team. And that's a dedicated manager for all of the Louisiana schools. We have them based around the country, and there's a specific person that's ready to help you, an LHSA school. We also have grown significantly our support team. So that team is based in Atlanta, and they are working around the clock. We've grown from less than 10 people to over 200 people, working to help ensure that broadcasts go off without a hitch, and if there are any issues, that they're standing by to help, whether it's scoreboard, internet, any camera issues. So between the customer success, if you consider that kind of during the week, and then come game day, our technical support team, they're ready to help you, the school. And like Mark said, as we try to grow the number of events and number of schools participating in the network in Louisiana, those are two great resources that hopefully you will find very helpful if you're a part of the network or you're looking to join the network.
That's great. So, last year on the NFHS network, we had over 4,200 games, state championship games, as well as regular season games. Again, how do we grow that to making sure that no fan, that there's a ton throughout the country that are fans of high school sports here in Louisiana. How can we grow that? Again, we want to talk to you and your schools regarding the NFHS network and being a part of the great things that we're doing. So thank you.
The NFHS network is a joint venture to provide fans the ability to stream live high school sports. For more info, log on to nfhsnetwork.com. We've got a great 1-2 punch to close out the show with more volleyball highlights from Turlings Catholic and Notre Dame and football highlights from the Lafayette area. We'll be right back.
Louisiana has Hall of Fame athletes in every sport. And now the newest wave of All-Americans have their own channel, the LHSAA Network, showcasing the best student athletes in the nation.
Anybody in the state know about 32 Minutes of Pain, the basketball, 32 Minutes of Pain. Girls and boys, the late Coach Dixon, Coach Kenneth Dixon, 32 Minutes of Pain is painted on the wall. They know as soon as they walk in the gym, they're getting pressed. Other rival schools, I was told practice with 7 players on the court for basketball to prepare for us for basketball. So if you say the statement 32 Minutes of Pain, everybody in the state know you're talking about home of Louisiana, Ellender basketball.
High school sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on one channel, the LHSAA Network.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count, You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Separated by just 25 miles, Turlings Catholic and Notre Dame of Crowley are two of the most successful schools in the Lafayette area. Turlings, under Coach Terry Hebert, has won 8 state titles and played in 11 consecutive state championship games. Tara Young has led Notre Dame of Crowley to 5 championships and knocked off #1 seed Newman in last year's semifinals, reaching her 9th title match. Let's see these two schools bring the heat earlier this week.
Notre Dame was able to take down Turlings Catholic in an exciting match that came down to the 5th set, where the Pios were able to win 17-15. A match that felt like one we would see in the Cajun Dome in a few months.
You know, we had a 5-setter against LCA just last week. We went 5-3 with Dunham at a tournament this last weekend. So we've just had like the nail biters, and we just haven't been able to finish. And tonight we finally were able to kind of finish. We've maintained energy throughout, even when kind of there were those dips and those valleys. So we feel like we maybe turned a corner, and we'll see. So super excited. Anytime we can beat Turlings, it's a good thing.
Pios coach Tara Young hopes that the win over the Rebels can be a spark to a team coming off a loss in the state championship last season.
I mean, we often think of them as a rival. They're not really, because they're in a bigger division, but they are. There were years, it's been years ago, that they were on the downside. We've been on the downside here lately. So no, anytime we can get a win, anytime we can have a match like that with them, it's just feel good stuff. I mean, it's just great for the kids. It's great for our program. And no shame on either side, really. Turlings only is bummed that they lost, not that can't be disappointed by the effort they gave. So just super pumped about the effort, and we're just really hoping that it's just that foundational step that's gonna carry us into the deep in the season. So
the expectations for the Pios are always high due to the history of the program. Multiple state championships drive this team to get better every day, but sometimes those expectations can be too high.
No, I mean, it's been tough. It's just a long season. We get started in early July, and by the time middle of August rolls around, you feel like we've gone to a couple of team camps. Just the emotions, and you feel like you should be further along than you are, and the expectations are way up here, and they shouldn't be way up there in mid-August. And so I would say, as a coach, I kind of fail in August frequently, because I think I have too high of expectations, and I kind of sometimes don't handle it very well, and then the kids get a little bit frustrated. So there's been some rough patches.
The team features a few returners from last season, but also a couple of new faces looking to get the Pios back to the Dome.
We have a few returners. We do have a few kids that played last year. We do, but one of those is a junior, so she was our starting outside last year, and so she's a junior this year. And so, she's doing a great job, but she's young. She does have experience. Our seniors are doing a great job. Annalise Malaz, nicknamed Bird, number 11. She does a great job. I mean, she's all of 5'3", I think, maybe 5'4", but she's a beast. I mean, she actually does some things you go, wow. And so she's done a great job as senior leadership. Our senior setter's stepping up. She was not a starter for us last year, and kind of stepping into a situation, and we're trying a little bit different offense to kind of put her in situations that are better for her.
For the LHSA Network, I'm Spencer Ferret.
Both of these programs have great tradition, and both will be battle-tested for the state playoffs later this fall. We'll close out the show with a ton of football highlights from the Lafayette area. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed! missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Welcome back into the high school spotlight. The rich football tradition in Lafayette has only been enhanced in recent years by the likes of Opelousas, LCA, and Westgate to complement the likes of Notre Dame, Acadiana, and St. Thomas More. Lucky for you, we've got Week 3 highlights from all of those teams. Here's a look at the best matchups from the Lafayette area on Friday night.
Acadiana taking on St. Thomas More, two of the best in the Lafayette area going head-to-head. This was a good one.
St. Thomas More stung last week, couldn't get the win against Catholic High, trying to rebound here. Opening drive, Parker Bruno takes the handoff, stays on his feet. He ends up breaking tackles, rushing downfield for a 40-yard gain. Parker Bruno, the senior, drug out of bounds. Now nearing the red zone, the Rams sticking to the ground game, that split back veer, and Parker Bruno plunges in 1st and goal. Late in the drive, now 4th and goal, big stop from STM. The Rams are first on the board with 3 points. So a tight game early. Second quarter, still nothing to 3. Rams with the ball, but the Cougars defense comes up big, forcing a fumble. Brian Broussard with the scoop, takes it all the way to the end zone for the touchdown, making the game 7-3.
His 6th turnover of the season. He had a turnover last week. He missed the rest of the game after the first quarter. He's got to be leading the defensive stats right now.
So Acadiana comes away with the win. They've won 2 in a row, 20-7. STM falls to 1-2. The Wrecking Rams will take on New Iberia next week, and St. Thomas More heads north. They're on the road at Neville. It doesn't get any easier for Jim Hightower and the Cougars. That is a tough matchup on the road. LCA and Westgate. 2021 Westgate won it all. The seniors are back and trying to get this team back to the Dome. Out of the gate, Tigers. First play from scrimmage, Jabari Antoine doesn't see anyone open. Says, hey, I can do this all myself. Makes a few men miss, and he is off to the races. Tigers set the tone early, get on the scoreboard, and they're first to take the lead 7-0. Couple of drives later, the Tigers are going to end up knocking on the door, and DeTravius Lively takes the direct snap, pushes the pile, and his heavy lifting will get the Tigers on the board. They will
comes off as well.
On the point after they'll try and go for 2 and get it, making it 15-0. The Knights, LCA, trying to cut down on the deficit. Braylon Walker finds Braden Allen on the screen, and he's got a little daylight, making a couple moves, and also breaks a few arm tackles, gets into the end zone, cuts the lead 15-7. Tigers did push the lead 22-7. They were looking to add to their lead. Antoine, on a no-look pass, finds Davian Jackson in the end zone.
What a pass.
Nice job by Westgate. They're tough to beat at their home stadium. They will end up coming away with the victory tonight. And Westgate 39, LCA 28. The Tigers missed a game due to Hurricane Francine. They are undefeated at 2-0. Next week, big matchup against Turlings Catholic, who's also undefeated.
Notre Dame at Turlings.
Turlings leading 7-3 at the start of the third quarter. Beautiful field they have out there, big track, field turf, and then Notre Dame looking to go deep. But the overthrow, and Caden Chavis will make the interception, and they are fired up. Keeping the momentum from the turnover, Maddox Domain says it's our turn to go deep. He finds Cade Cother downfield for the touchdown, and just like that, it'll be 14-3. Notre Dame's going to stay in the fight, though. After this long touchdown that the defense gives up, they're going to march their way down the field and head into the red zone. 3rd and goal. One of those Casanova boys, Jackson Casanova, takes the ball, makes the stretch across the goal line for the touchdown. Now 14-10, much more dynamic game here. And it'll end up coming to a close after this kick is up and good. So Notre Dame and Turlings goes the way of Turlings Catholic, 21-10. Turlings next week at Westgate.
Lake Charles College Prep travels out to Opelousas. Opelousas, defending state champs, looking for win number 1. We're going to see Kalen Antoine. He looks for an opening, and boom! He is taken down hard by Jamarian Daughtery. Ball is recovered by Miles Dumas for Lake Charles College Prep. You see Coach Jimmy Zachary there. Zach Malvo, he'll hand it off to Deshaun Ford, and he's on the move, taking it up the left side and then up the middle for a Tigers first down. Playing on this natural grass field. Really, really great field out there in Opelousas. Malvo looks to pass, but it's the keeper taking it up the left sides and out of bounds for a huge pickup for Opelousas and a first down. Tigers now near the red zone, and it's going to be Malvo again. He takes it up the middle and takes it right in for a touchdown. It would be 6-6 at the half. But final score from this one, Opelousas takes down Lake Charles College Prep 27-12.
If those matchups are any indication, then district play in Lafayette is going to be a war, and we can't wait to bring you the highlights. We hope you enjoyed today's program. Follow LHSAA Network TV on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and join us every Thursday for the Game of the Week. We'll see you next time, right here on the High School Spotlight.